What's going on, everyone? This is Kosty with PickDawgz, and I'm here with Eric Pathy and Keri for episode number 26 of Tales from the Ticket. We'll explain to you guys in a little bit why Keri is here on this momentous episode 26. But, well, not Eric first. I'm going to ask Keri how she's doing today. Women go
Hey.
first, Eric.
Hi guys, thanks for letting me come on. I'm doing really well. I appreciate you letting me be on here today. So I'll let you move into it and get started with it.
Well, we appreciate you as well, more than you know. Eric, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just got off the bike, as you guys know, and I just put on the PickDawgz shirt real quick and ready to roll for this this episode. So why is Keri on here? Let's tell everybody why. We're celebrating a birthday.
We're celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Our founder, our fearless leader, Mitch Wilson, would have been 60 years old. So Keri wanted to join on this momentous day. And I know there's a lot of feelings involved with today and tomorrow and just, the anniversary coming up in November. But we're still here. We're still powerful. And I feel like we're doing better than ever. And I just appreciate you, Keri, coming on.
Oh gosh, I'm grateful that you all are having me on and having an opportunity to let me speak to everybody because it's just been a crazy, crazy year. And the gratitude that I have for the PickDawgz family, for the PickDawgz community, and how everyone has walked with me step in step during my grief and your grief to help me get to this moment. I just wanted to come on and say thank you because it truly have been moments where you have lifted me up. And the roller coaster ride has just been crazy. And I look back now at the year and how far we have come, and how we have been able to, and the thing I'm most grateful for is that everyone continues to keep Mitch alive through their memory, through their favorite stories, through their laughter, through their, wherever they are today. There's not been a day that has not gone by that someone has not reached out, which is just mind blowing to me to say, Keri, how are you doing? And Keri, this is what Mitch did for me. And this is why I appreciated Mitch. And this is such a great community. So, Mitch created the community, but I've been a part of this too. And so the fact that everyone brought me in still, and we're still here today, I just wanted to come on and say thanks and say, look, hey, we're all still here, and I'm really tremendously grateful. And so that was really why I wanted to come on.
Yeah, and I'm excited to actually I want our fans to know how PickDawgz got started, the whole lineage of how it came to be PickDawgz, because obviously Mitch has been in this industry or was in this industry for decades. So,
Yeah.
I'm very interested to know because I know bits and pieces of it, and I know how we came on board, Eric, myself, Micah, and Sean. But before then, how I want to hear it from you, like when PickDawgz was started. Explain to people the process of how it came to PickDawgz and before PickDawgz, how Mitch got into the industry.
Oh, that's a long question.
I know. I could. It kept getting more and more.
It kept getting more. But let's
Yeah.
start. Let me start with PickDawgz because I can remember it vividly. I think his is people who have been with Mitch for a long time, and some people are like, "Who the hell is Mitch?" Because I know you have a lot of new listeners too. Mitch just loves sports, and he loved to talk about all sports. So as you guys know, the babies before PickDawgz were his Sports Chat Place and Picks and Parlays were two of his brands that he had started. And through, you all know the history of all that. I don't need to go down that path. But PickDawgz, I remember standing in our kitchen in Hawaii, and he was like, those things were kind of off the table for him. He didn't know what he was going to do. He thought he would retire, and that lasted about 3 days. And he was playing golf, he was surfing, he was doing whatever he can. He's like, I got to do something. I need to be back online. Let me figure something out. And I remember standing in the kitchen and just looking over the table, and he's like, I'm going to start my own thing. And I'm like, you always did dog of the day, whatever the name has to be, it has to have dog in it. And so he's like, I go, we just tossed around these couple of names. And then I just remember very specifically, he came up with it. I'm going to call it PickDawgz. And then he just took it and ran with it and just true Mitch fashion, just went balls to the walls and was like on the show doing whatever. Like he was just, he just wanted to be out there because he just loved talking about sports and having a community of people who would do that with him. And so clearly I wasn't the person that was going to be doing that, but he just started doing it and just went crazy. And he's like, I'm going to make this my best thing yet. And I was like, I believe it. Cause I was like, you are a force and nothing's going to stop you. So PickDawgz was born.
Was there any other names that were made?
No,
It was just
no.
PickDawgz.
No, and it always came back to he loved the dog of the day. That was always his thing. He always loved the underdogs, dog of the day, or underdogs. We played around with a lot of different ones, but then this one to both of us, it was just like the light bulb went on. Boom, that has to be it. And just to see how excited he was just like, he was really into it. So
right, this
is it. And he's like, this is going to be my best thing yet. And it turned out to be. It was very, very prophetic. So I don't think that's the right word, but that's what he knew it. He saw it. He was going to make it happen.
Was he prior to him with Pixar, when he was working before he retired from his main, Wall Street work, whatever, was he, throwing the TVs around and yelling every night as just a gambler getting off work from his normal job? Or was he like pretty cool? Like we saw the animated, Mitch,
Yeah.
But was that behind closed doors? He was watching a game alone. You're in the other room and he's yelling.
You guys have been in my house. And so each of my houses, there are 5 TVs on the wall. One would be circled out and then he would have his iPad and his computer. So there were 7 games on at all times. So it was always happening. But one thing that I did appreciate about Mitch, the main TV was something that we both would watch, and that's where the volume would be.
Bravo.
So he could watch everything that he wants. And I mean, the man could know exactly every play and every game and every detail. But, I would say something, he wouldn't hear me. And I'm like, wait, what? You know every play, but you're not hearing me right now. So that was a little bit of a contention, but he was very respectful. And one thing that I really appreciated is that, he had action on everything, but it wasn't anything that he brought into our home. Occasionally he would be really upset about something, but it wasn't like that energy lasted in our home for a long time. He would shake it right off. His theory was never too high, never too low, just write it out. You just got to write it out. He took those losses on the chin. They would hurt. He would mention them, but it wasn't like that energy overtook our house and everything else about, I bet this better win. But I mean, we certainly did celebrate the wins too. Like we always would have something special, or he had so many crazy rituals that are just, I still laugh about it, thinking about it, watching a game. If he needed a certain score to happen, or he would run around the house going crazy and Sam would follow suit. So, I mean, he did get pretty high at times about everything. Not literally, but just his emotions would get really excited. But the lows didn't just, days on end that we're going to lose the house or anything along that line. He was a very steady, he took it, and for the most of the time we won, but I didn't know about it. So I appreciated that. It wasn't like it overtook our whole house. But his betting rituals, or if he needed something to win, or if he was going on a cold streak, were just epic.
You mean
just epic.
Like when he got into the habit of saying "fuck you, Kosty" every morning?
Yes, it's kind of along the same line. So we would go to the gym every morning at for the 5:30 a.m. class, and I always drove because Mitch always was on his phone constantly, talking to customers, talking to you guys, or doing whatever. I'm like, I'm not getting in the car with you driving. Just let me drive. And so if I would always park in a certain spot at the gym. And one day that spot, I just didn't, for whatever reason. He just like couldn't believe it. He's like, I'm going to lose because you parked in a different spot, Keri. Now he would get really weird about that kind of stuff. I am going to lose. And so, or like Miami won. So Miami won last year when they played Florida State, when we had pizza for dinner. We better have pizza again tonight for dinner. So he had just crazy funny rituals like that just made me laugh. And so it just made it more fun. So I appreciated that about him.
I remember that he would always say the main screen is for Bravo, because we would talk about our,
Yep.
because I have the same component. I just don't have
Yeah.
5 TVs, but I'm watching Below Deck, I'm watching The Housewives, all the
Yeah.
different shows, and he knew everything about the shows that I have to watch with my wife. I don't choose
Oh
to
yeah.
watch it. And but he had all the games on the outside of the screen, of the main screen.
Oh
So
yeah.
he was always able to talk about, and he had such a unique way of telling stories, which that's what really resonated with me. He was just like, when we would do the halftime show
Yeah.
for the NFL almost every Sunday, and he's doing commentating, and I'm like, Mitch, I don't know what your calling is. You're doing what your calling is, but if you were a commentator, you were one of the funniest people I have ever met. Just the way that he has the way that he told stories while live, just off the rip, was, to me, it's hard to make me laugh. And for somebody to make me laugh, it does something. It makes me feel something. And I remember just every Sunday, and he would just start screaming and yelling about, he's terrible, get him off the field, and Darnold for Heisman, and it just, the way I can't even, like,
His antics.
his antics and his mannerisms were just one of a kind.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
can't
what you
replace somebody
don't
like
know about that is I think he would practice them, because I would watch him, because he always cooked dinner. He was a great cook in our house, and so he enjoyed it. So I always, fine by me. So he would be over there cooking dinner, and I'm kind of helping him, and he would be sort of lip syncing. His mind was just always going, and he would be over there going blah blah blah. I go, what are you doing? And he's like, I go, you're saying exactly what you just said on the show. And he would just get so tickled by himself that I would just have to laugh at him. The funniest one was, and I think we showed this clip in his celebration of life, when he put on the sunglasses and said, "Rack City, bitch,
Yeah,
rack
City,
city."
bitch.
I think he did that for a week. He just thought
No,
that
no way.
I promise you, I would watch him. I go, "Are you doing that again?" And he would just laugh and just think that was just the funniest thing. He just loved that bit. And
No, well, it's just,
he was a repeater. He had to say things a million
right.
times. So,
Well, for him, the way that he presents himself as a adult male, to act like a child, where he puts his hat backwards and he puts the sunglasses on, and he's like, "Rack City, bitch, rack." And it was just like, you would never expect
you just
somebody. It's
didn't
like
expect
Eric
it.
doing it now, and you would laugh. It's
Yeah.
basically exactly the same thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, his Mitchisms
Mitchisms.
were just hilarious,
Yeah.
and it's still, to this day, I miss the laughter.
Yeah.
That was what we shared often on the shows, because, again, me not being a handicapper, and I'm not a guy that breaks down games. I mean, Eric is
Yeah.
10 steps away from what I even do talking about. So for me, it was the laughter and the comedic factor of us, making fun of each other.
Yeah.
It was the best. And even coming down to your guys' house and seeing you in person, and
Yeah.
that was unique, because we had asked to come down so you guys could understand our side of the business of what we would bring to PickDawgz. And rather than us, we were anticipating coming down and staying in a hotel and meeting you guys for the day, your first words were, or Mitch said, no, you're staying at my house.
Yep.
Never met us as far as this on screen.
Yeah. Yep.
And to just share and open your home to Eric and myself, and have us be in the element. The funniest thing that I can remember, I was sleeping, because I couldn't sleep in the room with Eric. I didn't want to share the room, so I was sleeping on the couch. And 5 o'clock in the morning, Mitch is recording and doing his 7 picks in 5 minutes. And while I'm still sleeping, I'm like, that game's going to lose. And he jumped up, and he's like, what?
ready to argue with you and debate.
Yeah, ready to argue with you. It's like, it's 5 in the morning. It's still dark out. And I'm like, no. Giants. What? He looked up, and he's walking around with his iPad. It was just, it was a moment.
it was everyday life. Like he would stay up till all hours of the night waiting for the game to be over, and then if he would fall asleep, I was just like, just come to bed, just watch it in bed, do whatever. And he'd bring the iPad, and then we have the TV on in the bedroom. He would wake up in the middle of the night and look at the scores. And so there's always an iPad or a computer or answering customer service, like at all hours of the night. And
Now,
so
how was it time-wise, lifestyle-wise in Hawaii versus Florida,
yeah, it was definitely a lot better for him in Hawaii. And that's one of the reasons he wanted to make that move, is just that 6-hour, 5-hour time difference. We were still up early. He just doesn't sleep. He just was one of those people that only required 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And so he would do a show, then he got to go play golf and then come back and maybe do a little bit of work, have dinner. And the shows were on, like, the games were on like at 1:00 in the afternoon. So it just broke his heart when we left Hawaii, because he's like, this new time zone is just not going to be great for me. But turned out it was the best thing that we moved. But he loved the Hawaii time zone. He loved everything about Hawaii and our life there. So I'm glad we had that. I look back at that now, and we left together, so that made it easier. But it was just a great chapter of our lives. How lucky were we that let's just do it. He was a much more of a risk taker than I ever was. And I'm like, wait, what? I can't just go to another 5 hours away on a plane ride to everybody else from the mainland. And he's like, let's just do it. Let's just jump. Let's just go. And so he made it. He was so convincing that it was going to work. He could easily bring you kind of on board. And so I appreciated that.
You guys were there through COVID, so you were basically you were locked in.
Locked in. Yeah, I would take Sam down on the beaches. We were right by Wailea. All of these Four Seasons, the Grand Wailea, all these hotels were just ghost towns. No, they were filming at the Four Seasons.
Right.
What's that show?
White Lotus.
White Lotus. And everybody was so up in arms because we weren't allowed to leave our houses, but this White Lotus film crew was allowed to come in and film right there. And we would walk every day past the filming, and people would be outside protesting because they were so mad. But we would watch the sunrise and go walk on those beaches. And I'm on these top resort beaches by myself with Sam, nobody else around. It was crazy. It was unbelievable.
It was like when I went to Vegas and all the casinos were closed, and I'm driving down the strip and I'm the only car on the strip. It's like
ghost town.
Like apocalyptic. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt. Yeah. I know it was that way around the world. But
my cousin lives in LA, and he's like, man, this is great. There's no traffic on the 405.
I can imagine. I kind of wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more, but there was so much uncertainty.
Yeah, so for us, we had to force. I got into. I was telling Mitch when we first met. I got into this business when I was in 8th grade. Right, is a part-time job of the company that I now own, and I worked every single day till March 11th, 2020. Mm-hmm. I never took a day off from 8th grade, so I had 4 months off from March 11th to July 24th. When I say everybody wagering on sports, right?
Yeah.
No sporting events. And I really didn't enjoy it. And I look back and I'm like, man, if I just would have known, that would have been like
the big break.
The big break. And instead it was like, I'm betting international soccer, Russian hockey,
ping pong,
badminton, horse racing. So let's talk about that. So we live 5 minutes from Pimlico Racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
I was born literally at the hospital, Sinai Hospital, which is next to Pimlico. So like, it's just, you grow up as a kid going to Pimlico and sneaking in and making bets when you shouldn't be there. But that was the initial connection with you and Mitch, horse racing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we're old. Mitch and I are old, as you know. Mitch and I, Mitch would have been a 60 and I'm 58. And so we met on American Online on instant chat, like no dating sites even existed. AOL.
My dad still has the AOL email.
I still have mine. And I'm secretly admitting it. Right. But so we talked for a long time, and at the time he had actually had stake in a horse. He had was a part owner in one. And he had said, do you want to go watch my horse run? And I was like, oh, what? Because my dream growing up in Cincinnati was I'm going to have a horse that runs in the Kentucky Derby. And I'm not going to the Derby until I have a horse that runs there. That never has come to fruition. But I was like, yeah, let's go watch your horse run. So we would go watch the simulcast down at River Downs. And Mitch actually worked at River Downs at that time. He would do the on the shows and like call the horses and stuff. And he had a horse at that time. So and then we would just go to concerts all the time and just really had a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a good way to meet, and we just had a lot of fun together. So.
And was he an active? I know he was obviously a big sports bettor, but was he continually wagering on sports? Horses the entire time, or more to the backside? Mainly.
Well, at that time,
obviously,
we were both in Cincinnati. So the first riverboat casino rolled into Indiana, which was huge for that area. So, Mitch loved to play craps too. So we would go over there to craps, go to the racetrack. And then, he always, I don't know where he made his bets, but so it's so funny as technology. Mitch also is extremely eclectic. So if I wanted to go to art shows, or he would be right there with me. He loved plants. We have just amazing orchids because of him. So we're always out and about on good days. And he had one of the original handheld TVs because this was like the early 90s. So he could watch his games while we were out there. I mean, just the funniest things, because, computers were still new.
Right.
None of this technology. He was all about the technology as things had gone on. And I still wish we had that.
Early adopter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact.
Did he have the bag phone like I did?
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
Kosty,
he had all of those. So funny when you think about how that has all, and we still have a lot of that.
The brick phone, then it went from the bag phone to the big brick phone that was wide.
The thing that Mitch always was missing, and this is why I think he developed everything, is like just exactly what you said, Kosty. When you heard him say the pick and you said, no way that's going to win, he immediately engaged you in some kind of conversation. And so we would be out before any of this was even developed. Obviously, we had to go. The only way to watch games was at a sports bar, right? So we would go to the sports bar, see the multiple TV sets up, and he would want to engage with anybody who's around him in that particular guerrilla tactic style. Like, he had a strong opinion, he was going after it. Well, a lot of people don't really appreciate that so much. So many times, we had to leave the bar because people were going to kill Mitch. So
for people that don't know, Mitch and I share the Mitch and I are very two tall people. So
yes.
So the shortest guys with the biggest mouths, and you're in the bar.
Yes. And I'm like, just zip it. Just keep your opinion to yourself. But he so needed that community to engage and a platform to do it. And you guys did that for him. So really, it was just kind of a dream. As he said, you guys helped him live his dream and do what he wanted. And for me, I was like, God, thank God we're not getting killed at a bar, or I don't have to like leave through the back door so no one kills us. So I thought that was kind of funny that this is the life that sort of evolved for him. And so,
well, for us, the way we came about was, Mitch was at one point he thought that bringing professional betting groups to his platform didn't really connect. He couldn't figure out how it could connect to his audience. And randomly, he's surfing in Hawaii with a random person. I don't think it was his friend at the time. I think it was just a random person.
Sean's friend.
It was Sean's friend, but I don't think Mitch and that guy knew each other.
No, they did. They knew each other.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jason.
they're surfing, and Mitch is, the guy, Sean's friend, goes, look, these guys are revolutionary. They're doing things that most people don't do in this industry. Talk to them. And from that day forward, the friendship and the relationship between Sean and Micah and you guys had flourished. And then you guys started traveling together and going to Vegas all the time and seeing the dead. And then they brought, because we've been partners with Sean and Micah for a decade prior, they said, look, these guys are going to bring a component to the platform that you've never seen before. And it just was so seamless. It just seemed like there wasn't, the synergy was there from day one, in my opinion. you know, there's obviously speed bumps along the way, and that's how any business forms. But we went out to Vegas with you guys multiple times, and the wives, and just having that connection where we were all so different, but we all had the same agenda,
Mhm.
and we all lived the same way, whether it's Sean from his side, or Micah, or myself, or Eric, or even Jay Briggs coming out in Ruffalo, those first couple trips. And we just built this connection, and then that connection translated to the screen, where for a while, like I remember I had probably been on screen with Jay and Ruffalo for a year straight and never met them. And then I see them in person. It's weird. It's a weird connection. You always think somebody's either too taller or shorter or this or that. And then you see him for the first time, and it just feels weird. And from that point forward, we just like soared and took off like a rocket ship. And, you know, the community keeps growing, and our relationships keep growing, and
Yeah.
the evolution of this business keeps growing, and it never stays the same. And that's what I always, since the day I got into it in 2000, I think I got into this industry 2007.
Mhm.
So Eric was in it in the 90s. I got in it in 2007, and then Eric and I had synergy right away when we connected, and then that's blossomed into all these other levels. But so many memories, so many funny stories and situations. And that was the thing. Like, we could just laugh about anything and everything. We could make fun of each other, and nobody takes it too seriously. I hope, you know, at least I don't.
Yep.
And it was, those Vegas trips were really fun.
I know he came back just absolutely having a blast with all of you guys. And when he started talking about adding a different service on, you know, it was such a full circle moment, really, I think, in the whole entire sports betting world, that he considered adding this component, because I always talk to him about, gosh, what would that look like? How would that be? Because one of the things that I think made this website a lot differently is his transparency, and showing his records, and, you know, just knowing he talked to people all the time. If they weren't happy, he talked to them in the middle of our dinners. He's always talking to customers. Just like you guys, you're always talking to somebody. And so I like that he had developed a product with you guys, because that you can talk to somebody, you know, because if you're just behind the line, and you are a unique bettor, it's not for everybody, but if you are this unique bettor, and you want to really have this individual concierge service, that now you have a live person, and you know that person, and they develop that relationship with Mitch, and now with you guys online. So it's a different type of relationship, other than just having a random person that you don't know. And then obviously having the transparency of the record too. So it's a different model. And that's kind of really why the community, and it's not for everybody, but for that one person that appeals to have that concierge service, and that customer service, and that being able to connect with them and get that information and make it unique to what you need, is just fantastic. But the thing is, Mitch always had said, is that I have a product for everyone. So if you're a premium pack, you just want to go online, you don't want to hear from anybody, you just want to buy your bets, you don't want to think about it, and you like this person, you can go there. If you're a bigger bettor, we have a place for you too. So he really built a home for a whole community, as opposed to, you know, just buy the bets, just do what you want. I mean, he started this giving out only free picks, and that's what made his model just so differently. He just wanted a community to talk about sports, and they're like, well, hey, we'll pay you for your best bets. So that's back to your first question. How did this evolve? So it's a really, he really was a pioneer in the space. So it's just evolved and changed, and we're continuing to evolve and change. And I think I like what he said best, and I can't believe he wrote this in July before he passed away, that the community and the people that he put in PickDawgz, he just sees you guys bringing it bigger and better than he ever could. He just got to do what he loved. And so I thought that was really just amazing and pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we met in Vegas with you, You know, I had
Yeah.
one of those clients that he'd never purchased anything at PickDawgz.
Yep.
He saw Mitch's message, if you make big bets.
Yeah.
He texted, lives in Los Angeles. And, you know, I said, you can get access to this information. And I said, we're actually going out to watch the games. And he had been buying information online for several years from other people. And he's like, can I come out and meet you guys? I'm like, absolutely. And, he came, paid me in person.
Yeah.
I remember, and he wanted to meet Mitch and he's like, the whole time I took him out to dinner every single night to a 10, the most expensive.
Yep.
And the guy's literally like, this is how this business should be, like a financial advice.
Yeah.
You know, I not believe I've been buying picks for 20 years. I'm sitting here with you, Mitch, Kosty, met everybody, shake everybody.
And some of these same people came out to visit us. They came to Mitch's celebration of life, which was just, Brad came out. I mean, it was just so nice to meet these people.
It's that human component, because yes, you can reach a lot of people online, but people would get shocked. I can really come out and meet you. So,
They would be so surprised when Mitch would pick up the phone. So a lot of times I would help him with social media, and I would say, hey, and I'm like, Mitch, what do you want me to say? So I would say, Mitch says blah, blah, blah. They're like, is this really Mitch? I go, no, it's Keri, but I'm talking to you for Mitch. So
here's
like, wait, what?
Here's a funny story. Kosty was on the phone with the guy the other day. The guy hung up on him because he thought there was no way it could be Kosty. It was a robot.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
He said it was because they always say, no, recently, because of the, it's 2025, they think it's robocalls. And they're like, no, is this an automated mess? Is this a pre-recorded mess? I'm like, no. He goes, no, that's what a robot would say. I'm like, ask me a Kosty question. Just ask me anything. You watch on the morning show all the time.
My gosh.
Ask me my favorite football team. Ask me my relationship with Chris Ruffalo and how I expect him to twirl and try to do a push-up. Just tell me, ask me something. And he literally hung up the phone. He thought it was a robot.
Oh gosh. No, I get it.
Because they're go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just going to say, for me, this year has been really challenging to deal with all the stuff that I had to deal with cleaning up everything, and to have to talk to a robot or an AI person has just been awful. And I'm like, I just want to talk to a live person. Please just put a live person on the phone. I just need to know how this process goes. I need to understand. I don't want a rote response. I don't want to spend 20 minutes on the phone, waiting in line to get to somebody, pressing 27 buttons to actually get there. I just want to talk to somebody, like a human connection. Well, that's all I want.
It's crazy because, like Kosty will hear, it happened several times. So Mitch used to say I used to say to Mitch, a voice is a fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll do my videos with Howard, my own videos, and then I'll say, call this number. And then I'll answer on speakerphone, and Kosty's sitting on the other side of the office, and I'll go, hello. That's it. And the guy will go, Pathy? It's really you?
I know.
Like, we just start laughing. I'm like, yeah.
It's just sad that we've come to this, though, right? Like, I mean, it is.
On the first ring, I said on the video, if you call the number, I'll answer. And the guy, like, literally, his brain fries. He's like, then he goes, yeah, I watch Kosty every day. I go, hold on. And I transfer the call, and Kosty gets on the phone. The guy's like totally freaked out. He's like,
that's awesome.
Really? I can just get you guys on the phone. And so that's one of forget even the picks, that customer service that we supply these guys that, like you said, you have to jump through hoops to get a lot. The first time that I've turned my phones off since Mitch passed, other than being on an airplane, is today for this show.
Thank you. And I saw you promoted it. You said you were having a special guest on all week. So that was very sweet. I watch these videos.
Yeah. And when I turn them back on, and I'll have, two, but the reality is that, Mitch was great at also recognizing that there's several different ways to skin the cat in this business. He used to say, I don't know anything about the phone. He goes, I only know about the internet. And I would say, well, I don't know anything about the internet. I mean, I have my personal YouTube channel. It had 200 viewers on it since 2015. You got 200,000. I think I'm going to take whatever you say, Mitch. You're the man, So, and then regarding the phone side of it, he would just defer, hey, just do your thing. So it's like he was a risk taker in the fact that he wasn't worried about if it didn't succeed.
Yeah.
we just pivot and we would do something else. Not everything we tried was worth the clients taking in. And, you know, then you just roll on to the next thing. And I also think that's the risk-taking gambling mentality, that if you're just a risk taker by nature, you're going to be willing to do more things that are going to, you know, put you in that situation. I wanted to ask you, and again, you don't have, if it's, you know, how's the last year in terms of, like, you know, appreciating every day? Like Mitch used to say, make today a great day, make it a winning day. I have it on right here.
Look, I have mine too.
Right. So, but, you know, it becomes much more, you know, I texted Mitch that morning. He texted back. Kosty texted. I mean, he texted a lot of people, but we obviously would be texting.
Yeah, we already know what he texted me that morning.
Right. But like, does it, I mean, obviously the grief is part of it, but like, is it almost like still surreal? Like for me, sometimes the question I wanted to ask you is, and as a father of 2 children, like I basically said, like, people basically don't die anymore. What I mean by that is that I can go back and I can go to YouTube and I can watch all these videos of Mitch and smile. Where if it was my grandfather, I have black and white photos in a box. You know, there's no videos of my grandfather who died when I was 7 and I'm now 53, going to be 50. So it's like, is it kind of surreal for you when you see the videos of him, or you kind of like, just that's the world we live in? Or does it make it worse, or does it make it better? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know that I have a clean answer on that, but it is wild to me because really his life was digital. The moment that Facebook came alive, and you use Facebook so differently now than you did then. Like his thoughts were, as you said, just so random and so funny. He would put them out there, and so I look at the memories and I just crack up laughing. And so some days it's like trying to reconcile I'm so glad that his memories, as you have helped me learn, and just even this beautiful conversation today just warms my heart, helps keep him alive, you know, as long as we're saying his name. Right. But then I can break down in a minute.
I know, you're gonna get me.
Yeah, you were trying to do that, weren't you?
No, I said you're gonna get me.
But laughter through tears is a good thing, and I'm grateful for the life. You know, as I look back, I had no idea, and I don't even know that he did that. That he touched so many people's lives for whatever reason, and it's just, if we all get to say that, and he left happy, he left on top, and he left happy. I don't know that any of us could wish for any more. So there's some real peace in those scenarios. I just wish we got to, the other thing he said is, I wish I would have enjoyed it more. And we were just getting to that point where, hey, let's take a step back and enjoy this. But he loved this so much. I knew I would never pull him away from this. And I didn't want to, but I did want to travel more. I'm not going to lie. And I was starting to do that on my own. I was like, hey, I'm going to Iceland. If you can't go, I'm going on my own. So we were at that moment, but, he loved it. And wherever we were, he made sure that he could get on the show middle of my Thanksgiving dinner. In between pulling out the turkey, he was doing a halftime show every year. And I miss that energy tons. That's just hard. I just miss it, but I'm trying to get to the point where I can figure out to move forward. And I've done the grief work. I've done the grief counseling. That's all been very important. And this community has helped me grieve along the way. And I'll get to the other side. I will. And just grateful for it. But I like seeing it, and I don't, you know, so it just makes me miss him more. So it's a weird scenario. It's kind of like laughter through tears. It's just a weird, all the emotions in one time, you know?
Like I went back and I watched the video. The video that Kosty did with Mitch at 7:00 the night before when I walked out of the office. The last video that he did was with Kosty. And I walked in and they were on eCam, and I said, hey, I'll see you tomorrow, you know, and I went back and I'm like, you know, because, you know, sometimes there's no answers, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching the video, and I watched it like 50 to 100 times. And I'm like looking at him thinking, like, was there any sign? And the guy looked perfect. Like, just like, you know, and so it's like, as a father who have, one day my kids are going to have 1,000 videos of me on YouTube. It's like crazy. Where like I asked my mother, who will be 80, we'll get to that in a second, on November 11th, and I said to her, her parents passed a long time ago, my grandparents. And she said, sometimes she forgets the sound of her parents' voice. Which is why in the old days when people had voicemails and there would be that last message, like they would never delete that voicemail because they would go back and listen to that voicemail so they could hear that voice. Now we live in a world where you never forget the voice.
Yeah.
So that it's like a really wild,
emotion.
And again, it's crazy with the technology because when you see stars pass away, they have these prepackaged. It's like ready, like so. Ozzy Osbourne passes away, and now I guess if you're that famous, they're going to have these prepackaged in memoriams. So second it drops, Ace Frehley from Kiss passed away the other, like 74 years old, and it was like boom, memoriam was like in 2 seconds, but then if you're in digital media and you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, you basically are creating your own memoriam in real time.
You're right.
Which is absolutely wild to me. So that's why I was wondering if you try to avoid, and that's why for the viewers out there, when you said I taught you, I'd say, the way I was raised in my religion is that when somebody as long as somebody says your name, you're not as long as you're not forgotten, because there's a thing, it's like 2 or 3 generations. Like you can ask pretty much anybody on the planet. Your grandparents' name.
Yeah.
And you can ask, and everybody knows their grandparents, all 4 the names, even if they were close, not close, whatever. And then you can ask those same people their great grandparents' name, and about 50% might know their great grandparents' names. Then you ask for the great great parents, nobody knows. It's like 3 generations vanish. So you keep, as long as you keep, and that's why I always speak about Mitch in the present tense. And, for full disclosure for everybody watching, I ask you, like, does it bother you that I speak about?
I love it. And thank you for making me come on and laugh today. This is great.
I'm aware, but because that's how you keep the memory alive. I mean, Kosty, your grandmother, I think she passed away at 101.
Yes.
Wow.
And did you know your great grandma? I'm going to test you. Did you know your grandmother's mother's name? See, there you go.
I do. I know all of them.
You really?
I do.
Yeah, I don't. It's unique. It's like we came from the Ukraine.
Well, we know you're
in the United States when I was 8 years old in 1991. And we had a very small family where we came here, half of our family, and then half of our family came about 3 years later. So I never knew my grandfather. He passed away after World War II, and I was named after him. And then, so my grandmother basically had looked the same in my lifetime because she lived to 101. And, at the time she was 70, I guess, when I was born, and she lived to 101. I remember her distinctly coming here, not being able to speak the language and having to take the citizenship test, multiple choice citizenship test at the age of 85.
Wow.
In English.
That's amazing.
And
talk about grit right there.
And then when you turn 100, the president sends you a postcard. And she was so proud that she had received a postcard, never went to a nursing home, lived on her own at 101. And it was just, it's amazing that you appreciate the little things. And I feel like that's what I've always had is I don't have those entitlement things that people, unfortunately, that are born here, the laziness and all the things that goes along with it, with entitlement. I never had it. And that's what Mitch appreciated in me, that the grind never stops. There's no days off.
Yep.
That's how we live in this industry. And,
his motto was work like I'm going to lose it. He never wanted to go back into an office work ever and work for anybody else ever again. He's like, I'm going to work my ass off, so it's never taken away from me. Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up, where Mitch was responding to people always in customer service.
Yeah.
I can't not respond to people, and it's probably
Yeah.
not the best timing. I
Yeah.
could be in the middle of dinner. I probably should put my phone down. I probably should have some balance in my life, but I I'm so invested in my clients and the relationships that I build with them, and I've never even met them before. I
Yeah.
treat my clients like I treat my best friends.
Well, I
I
mean, the
always
fact that so
respond.
many wanted to come out and met us out in Vegas is
Yeah,
just,
Crazy.
you know, they feel like they're a piece of what we're doing here, and I think Mitch felt that way too. So
that was a really good turnout. I was
yeah,
shocked.
it was beautiful. I really loved how everything kind of had come together. I wanted to provide. It was so unorthodox. I wanted to just provide an opportunity to be with people and grieve with them, and I couldn't think of a way that made sense for me to have a traditional service, everyone fly in and not really have an opportunity to be together. So, you know, he had so many different pockets of life, and his college friends, we all went down to where the University of Miami played. He knew he wanted to, we sprinkled some of them down there. And then we went to, you know, Vegas. And then I took him and let him finish out in Hawaii. And his prep school friends in Boston all got together. I didn't get to go to that one because that was right on the heels of Vegas, but they had just a beautiful celebration of life on their own and shared the videos and shared everything with me. And so I felt like it was, you know, he's kind of one of being only 60 years old. This is kind of the first one in the group for a lot of people. And it's just
Mm.
like, it was so non-traditional, but yet it just worked for and celebrated the life that he had for me. So I felt like we got to do it in with everybody that he loved in every way that he loved. And I'm grateful for everyone that showed up. That was just beautiful. I feel good about that. I'm at peace with that. So that's a good thing.
Well, for Mitch's
As a
60th
gift.
birthday, guess what, guys? Eric's shaving his beard.
Mitch's 60th? You're doing it for, oh,
Yeah.
wait.
I'm doing
I
it.
didn't know about this one.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
mother's gonna be, and she's not watching this. She better not be. She's going to be 80 on 11/11, and we're having a surprise party for her on
Oh, that's awesome.
on 11/8. My twin brother's going to fly in from Atlanta, and you know, I'm going to sneakily pick him up at the airport, and a fraternal twin, and I'm going to have him record me shave because her always thing is I want to see my kid's face, and I haven't shaved. I figured it out. I haven't shaved. I went back. The last time I shaved was August of 2018. So it's actually
Wow.
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So August of 2018.
You're not gonna know what you're to feel.
So
That's
here's
gonna be
so
crazy.
what's interesting. What happens is just like you know, like for instance, you're blonde, and you know, Kosty's Kosty, and I'm. So the way you think about yourself is, you know, you have an idea of what you look like. So this is what happened to me when I shaved my beard in 2018. I think that I have the beard because I don't. People don't know this. Just like you don't feel the hair on your head, I have no like I don't. If somebody doesn't say, "Hey, cool beard," I forget I have a beard. You feel nothing, right? So I think you feel like you have the beard even though you don't have the beard. And then you like look in the mirror, you're like, "Who is that guy?" Like, you just walk and you see the reflection in the car. You're like, "Who's that guy?" It's like it doesn't even really. It takes a while for you to actually sync who you are. It was. I don't know if it's the same as if you change your hair color and you decided to be
Yeah.
a brunette. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I have beard anxiety about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm having anxiety for you.
I don't even want it. I really, but you know what? She made it to 80.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. It's not 11/11 yet. So I'm gonna do it, and I can grow it back. I wanted to ask you, just for a public service, I would be remiss if I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell the people out there? Obviously, we're in a male-dominated industry. Obviously, plenty of women wager. Kelly's on here, and plenty of people wager on women. But listen, let's be real. It's 2% maybe of the clientele that I've had in my 40 years of. This is my 39th year of consulting. Is there anything you would say to the men that are my age, 50 plus, watching this, who don't want to go to the doctor, who look like they're healthy, who are working out every day? Is there anything you learned from this tragedy that
absolutely? So I think I just had shared that Mitch had, and we had it confirmed by the from the coroner's report that he had a massive heart attack. where we failed miserably, and something we kind of I have to live with, is that Mitch had a family history of heart disease, and we did not. He had regular checkups earlier on. Mitch was a former smoker, former drinker, all in recovery, hadn't smoked in over 20 years. We worked out continuously. Mitch measured every morsel of food. I was so arrogant that I thought we were healthy, and I just had a different attitude about the doctors and the costs that we never had him go get his physical. Had we taken the time to get the physical, and more importantly, Mitch had clogged arteries, and they no longer allow you to do stress test. So unless you ask for it specifically or have a family history, had we done that, this would have been a very different outcome. But we didn't. And so he had we didn't even know. Like I said, I left to go to a yoga class. He was running. He hadn't been on the treadmill in a long time, but I had bought pie for Thanksgiving, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat that pie tonight, Keri. I'm gonna start running. I'm gonna get this extra weight off. No problem." He had ran half marathons. He was running. I thought he was in tip top shape. Surfed, played golf, just finally got into shape. And there's nothing that could have prepared me for that moment or for that outcome. And I just feel so stupid that we didn't do that. Or
Oh,
he
no.
had his heart checked that year before, because he had shoulder
Exactly.
surgery,
Shoulder-
and they cleared him for the surgery, but they didn't do the stress test where they checked for any of the blockages. So I don't know why insurances don't cover it. I
Well-
didn't even think to ask for it. I was so arrogant to think that we were in good health. But a regret for sure. And I hope that you all take that to heart and do with it what you can. So maybe your outcome will be different.
So I freaked out, and
Yeah.
I freaked out, and I called my doctor, and I told him what happened, and he said exactly what you said. He said, "Insurance doesn't cover you. I can send you this place. You have to pay for it out of pocket." And I said, and he said, "How much is it?" I said, "How much is it?" He said, $1,500. I said, "Fine." I bet that on a game. Like, who cares? Like, so I go there, and the lady's looking at me because she sees I'm fit, and she's like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, and I told her, I said, this is like a week later. I said, my business partner just passed away on Thanksgiving morning. And they put me through the tube and did the dye injection. And for all you out there, you'll bet 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, 100,000. Spend the 1,500, go get the stress test.
Absolutely.
And it's a bitch that insurance doesn't. But you know what they told me? I'm a cyclist. I'm lean. I work out every day. I still have 16% plaque. It's in the normal. But literally, he's
also
like,
hereditary. His dad died early of a heart attack. That was the biggest factor right there. That should have been, take care of it, get it looked at.
Right.
So.
And so I just figured it's important to put that out there, because I think a lot of people, and it's interesting because, there's in society, everybody looks at people and they fat shame. If they're heavy, they say they're unhealthy. And the irony is, what I learned from the cardiologist, my twin brother, so my father's 6'2" and my mother's 4'9". I'm 5'6" and my brother's 6'3". So I got my mother, he got my father. My brother is a rail.
I'm sorry, Eric. Just want to let you know.
He doesn't have 1 inch of fat on his body. He goes to the doctor. He's like, "Dude, you got to stop." Because he's eating fast food every day because he thinks he's
the
arteries don't care.
Nope.
So just because you're watching this and you're thin and you see your six pack, like Kosty six pack,
right.
Doesn't mean
I'm working. We're on the right plan.
Because like you learned, Keri. I mean, Mitch was in good shape. I mean, I met.
So yeah. I mean, we really worked at it. We're trying to age better.
Isn't that how it goes? Where people don't check on things when nothing is wrong.
Yeah.
It's only when things are wrong and something is an emergency, then they go get checked. But it's like, even now, if you're feeling good, you're not going to take time out of your day to go to the doctor's office to take it. I guess it's the mentality of this fast-paced world that we live in.
Yep.
But like Eric said, guys, it's very important to, especially when you get over the age of 50, to get these tests. I'm grateful for my health, but I also, Eric and myself are athletes. we don't have to play the sports to be athletes. We understand for us to have the lifestyle of being in this industry and working 7 days a week, you have to take care of your mental health and your physical health and how you eat and your energy. And like Brad is on here. Brad's helped me tremendously. You know, I remember I told you about it, Keri, where I said, Brad's got me taking all these vitamins and nutrient supplements and
And you had the blood work done. You had the
the blood work
analysis. You knew
done.
what was going on, and
And now we're going on over a year of staying with that regimen. And I could tell you, you know, about to turn 43 in a couple months, I feel better now than I did at 33.
That's
and
awesome.
A lot of people can't say that. And a lot of people blame themselves for being lazy. And I'm not saying that to be negative. It's just the world we live in. But, you know, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. It may not feel that way today because you look good in the mirror, but you never know what's underneath the hood there.
Yeah.
And I also think, Keri, like you said, it's I feel guilty about it is non-relevant. I mean, because you could have been home and not at yoga, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. You just like, it's like,
you know, you go down those rabbit holes. As you try to process everything.
I will say, if you live long enough, unfortunately, this is my 6th person that's had a massive heart attack in my life that I've done business with, or part of the family where they were just like fine today. And they were just like, I think there was like some statistic. It's like every 40 seconds in the United States, a man has a heart attack. But it's the same until it actually affects you personally. So, you know, and look, the guy that wrote the book Running, as Brad will tell you, he's on the chat, died, had a heart attack while he was running.
Wow.
Running.
That's crazy.
So, you know, you're talking about like the epitome of health rip. So, you know, again, and that's why it goes back to this band, you know, make it a winning day, be kind to one another, because I see clients that get so insane when they lose a game, like the world's coming to an end. And it's like, the world's really not coming to an end. Like,
keep it in perspective. Yeah.
There'll be another game tomorrow. Are you still, I know you're engaged in the business full force, but do you still want to watch the games, or kind of like?
Well, you know, Miami comes on, and I think of Mitch, because we watched almost every Miami game, so I'm still kind of following suit. I'm a little surprised by that, but I still make sure that they're on. I know what's happening. I know when they're playing. I know all of Florida down here was pretty bummed when they saw Miami lose to Louisville this past weekend. So we'll see what happens. But I have one more thing I want to talk about, you guys. Let's talk about Circa. So we had a winning week this week. So Kosty, I think we were 4-1. So I think you got our readers a little bit more excited about what was happening here. But my intention behind doing this is probably a little selfish too. But, you know, Mitch and I would always go out every year prior to NFL starting. And used to be he would enter into the Westgate contest. And so we'd always go stand by the $1 million and like, okay, we're going to win this. And it was just fun. And it was always just a really fun weekend. And then when the Circa came around, we went out and he started doing both of those. So I'm like, you know what, we should do that. And then let the community help us make these picks. So, and if we win, then we'll make sure that money goes towards a charity of whoever that the community would choose to. So maybe we still have a shot. We were doing a little bit better. So I hope we can turn that around and maybe get in the money in some capacity for a charity donation. So I was pretty excited about that.
Kosty, or Keri, how does the public follow the standings and the results of what did we name it?
The Circa contest.
No, you're the name of the entry.
Oh, Dawn Patrol.
Dawn Patrol. Okay, got it.
So those are all the Circa results are all public. You can follow them. You can go to the Twitter page on Circa, and you can follow it. Now every Friday, which is tomorrow, we will, on the morning show, we do a live poll for every game. The votes are live, and then we pick the 5 most pick selections. I felt like I needed to do my part last week.
You did a good job.
I called the entire community for the previous weeks square as fuck, as those exact words that I said. And because of how square they were, they were not square last week, and we were 4-1. So
Much better.
I will have something in store for tomorrow.
You get a
when we
little
do the
motivated,
selection.
and then Brad posts what the on Sunday what the picks were, so the community knows where the picks were. So we're using the IG channel to kind of share that just a little bit too. So
Yeah, guys, we're not square. Our
yeah.
community's not square. We're sharp. And with the Circa, you don't have to win the whole season to make money. All you have to do is get hot for 4 to 5 weeks because they pay out over 100,000 a quarter.
Yeah.
So I have a good feeling. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
There's a higher power out there that is going to help us, will us
Yeah,
donate some money. So
exactly.
very, very exciting. Wow. What a fast hour.
Yeah, it's been an hour. Thanks for letting me ramble on, everyone. It's
Well,
been
when I
fun.
used
And
to
actually
do
felt really good to talk about them. So thank you.
Thank you. When I used to do live shows with Mitch, he used to say to me, we got to because it could be like a Joe Rogan type. We could go.
Keep going. Yeah.
Exactly.
Aw. Well, it was really good to speak with you guys. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. So
Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving, or are you going to just take that as a quiet day?
yeah, I think I'm going to take it as a quiet day. And just I think Sam and I are gonna take off and head up the coast and find an Airbnb somewhere along the way and just kind of relax a little bit. I think that'll be nice and reflective. And so
Exactly.
yeah, it'll be good. But tomorrow though, for his birthday, we did stone crabs every
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Stone crabs are in season. And so I have some friends, and actually some of his college friends are in town. So they're going to be either I'm going out with them this weekend, and then tomorrow some friends are coming over for stone crabs and key lime pie. So I will carry on that tradition and eat in his honor tomorrow. So that'll be fun.
He knew that stone crabs are my favorite. And
Oh
he
my
would
God.
send me pictures of,
Oh yeah.
I got this guy. He got him right off the boat. And he would send me pictures. I'm like, please stop sending me pictures.
Well, no, I mean, there were times when we weren't living in South Florida, and we would when we were in Maui, we'd have them shipped out. So you never knew if they were going to make it in that 24 hours or not. There was one day that we would do it for his birthday and for Christmas Eve. So twice a year. It was like a very special occasion. And the one year on Christmas Eve, it didn't quite make it, the FedEx guy. So we got rotten crabs like the day after Christmas. And I'm like, we'll send those back. So we had to do plan B. But we made that effort every year. That was just his favorite thing. So it'll be fun to have that tomorrow to celebrate him. So
Awesome. So
yeah.
we wish Mitch a happy birthday.
Yeah, great. Well, I can't wait to see the shaving of the beard. That's going to be
And then
fun.
so
I'm not even going to know who you are.
So I'm asking you. So what I was going to do is I'm going to have my brother record it.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is, if you want, I'll drop the video. I'll send you guys the video, and you can upload it to the channel.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I think we should all see it. I think we'll all get a kick out of it. We're all not going to know who you are.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everyone, again for joining us for episode 26. We will be back here next week, episode 27, Tales from the Ticket. Everybody have a winning day. Have a wonderful day. Make it a great day.
And be kind to one another.
And be kind to one another. Aloha.
Aloha. Ahui ho.